Hello and welcome to another EDM tutorial. Today's video is looking at UHE's Hive, and it has been kindly offered to me by Richard, so thank you very much for this copy of Hive. So these are my findings. I'm just going to show you in the video just on how it performs. So the two synths that you're hearing in this right now are solely from Hive. There is a piano in there as well. So let's just remove the piano and the drums. Okay, so we have a swelling pad, and then we also have like an organy sound. Right, so I think we're already on this one. We are. So what I've found, obviously, is very, very similar to Sylenth in terms of the two oscillators. If I'm already missing another button, I can't see a further two, if you know what I mean, on each side. Maybe I'm not looking hard enough. But anyway, we do have very similar there, and then we have similar filters, and then we have similar amp and mod. With the LFOs in there, and then we have this middle section, which I think is what makes this unique in terms of you have normal, dirty and clean, which just kind of colours the sound straight off the mark, and then you have a series of built-in effects, so distortion, EQ, delay, reverb, phaser, chorus, compressor. Now what I do find a little bit confusing is you have distortion, so there we are, and then you have EQ, which is here, and then delay, which is over here. You just think it would have been in the order they are, left to right, so it would have been distortion, reverb, equalizer, then chorus, delay, compressor, and then phaser. Then maybe that's just me overthinking it a little bit. Then also we have an ARP and sequence section here, so we can have it time-based to the actual tempo of the track, or we can have it set to kind of different, I forget what you call them now, quantization, and also you can just kind of have it free, I think, maybe not. There's an arpeggiator, and then the sequencer, which I've not really messed about with, but I might do a video on in the future. There is a handful of presets there, and then apart from that, you've just got up here what is the name of the sound, blah blah blah, and you just have these things at the bottom. So you've got the keys, obviously see the keys, then you've got your mod wheels here, all your different mod sources, so we've got plenty there, 12. So just jumping back into what the sound is. So the waveform, we have a sawtooth, got at 8 unison. It's detuned to about 9 o'clock, so there's quite a lot of saturation in the detuning there. Width all the way up. As you can see, octave and semitone not changed. Phase, just left it as it was. Now the sub I've just got, which is exactly the same. That means like the oscillator, so it is also a saw wave. And we're currently down at -12 there, so we've got some sub bass in there. So if we listen to it, just turn that off. So it just kind of fills in that lower bottom end. So as you can tell from there, nothing else happens, and it jumps into filter 1. So I've selected oscillator 1 and sub 1, which is here, 1 and 1. I've put a low pass 24, and I've turned the resonance near enough all the way down. We've got the cut off just hanging at halfway there. I can have the option to automate it, but the sound is kind of what I want, just down at this midway point. And then it's just a case of just kind of tweaking the amp there, and I really haven't done much else to that patch. So let's jump into Hive organ. So here we are using both oscillators. So obviously I've started with one, got kind of to grips with the sound, and then now two. So again, we're set to clean in the middle here. And oscillator 1 is rocking a sawtooth, and oscillator 2 is rocking the square wave. Now we've got that at 4 unison, and that's 16 unison, and then there's no detuning on there, a little bit of detuning on there. So that's kind of the standard sound straight out of the box, straight through the clean section. Then I've put them through to a low pass 12, so not as kind of harsh, not as cut off as the 24 decibel. Slightly cut off there, just messed around with the key track there. Not much else going on. Bit of delay, bit of reverb, bit of compression. I am trying to get out of putting reverb and delay on prior to any inline inserts, so any compression, because the sidechain is going to pump everything that's coming out of this synth, for example. And if you want the reverb to be after the sidechain, obviously you can't have that option with kind of this already on inside. But nonetheless, just to make it sound nice, delay and reverb on there. And then just messed around with the amp and the mod there, so nothing too drastic. And as you can tell, I've routed it all through to filter 1. I've not bothered with filter 2 for oscillator 2 there. And that is it. So you can get some really nice sounds. I've only messed around with pads here. I'm just going to go into a third instance of Hive now and just show you what it's capable of, just how quickly you can get to a result. So let's just... So now I've got exactly the same pattern, but now I've just put it into 16ths and just made a pattern. So let's just turn this down for the benefit of your ears. Now we're going to leave it on saw wave here, so sawtooth. I'm going to chuck unison up to 16 just for effect. Bit of detune, and then we're going to do the same again, but we're going to have a square, and we're going to have, let's have half of 16, so 8. Now, I'm going to route it all through to filter 1, so let's just use the low pass 24, that's fine. I want the sub to come from there, but not from oscillator 1. I want kind of a square sub. Okay, so we've just removed sub 2 there to see what we've done. Okay. So that's kind of the basic effect there. We've got it going through normal at the moment, so let's just have it going through clean, dirty, and normal. So the difference between normal and clean, it's a bit brighter. That's kind of a bit more tame on the kind of the upper mids and the highs there. So we'll have it on normal, we'll keep it there. Now, just for artistic license, let's go into reverb. Let's just have it a bit bigger there, a bit more mix. And let's just have a bit of delay. Right, that's sounding pretty nice to me. Now I'm just going to demonstrate on the kind of the power of the amp and the mod here. So they are set to gate at the moment, which is where I'm going to leave them, but I'll show you the capability. So we're going to use this mod env here. So let's get this a bit plucky. Okay, so that's kind of the standard setting that you go for if you're starting to produce a pluck sound. Oh, please excuse the computer there. I seem to have bottomed out on CPU there. No idea why. Okay, so now if we start modulating this envelope here. Right, so now you'll see the effects when we turn the cutoff down. Okay, so you can hear that the mod envelope here is kind of reading what this mod is saying, but it's just I'm not fully clued up on it, so don't hold me down to this, but it's giving the effect like putting some more attack on there, so it's a lot slower. So it's kind of reading that shape, but it's not quite reading that shape, if you know what I mean. But the real power comes from the use of the LFO. So if we look at 1 here into 1 here, so obviously we're reading LFO 1, it's set to triangle. Now triangle, obviously if you look at it as a waveform, it's a triangle. So obviously you're going to get quite a sharp peak and quite a sharp fall at the same time. So if you now tweak the LFO when the cutoff is down, you're actually going to create a little bit of top volume. So it's going to peak and then drop. So you kind of get an emphasized pluck. So let's just have a listen to that. You can hear the effect. So that's a very modern sounding pluck synth where you get kind of the harmonics coming through rather than just being short and stabby. You're kind of keeping some of the cut off, but you're also bringing up, you've got control of how loud it becomes. And it's very typical modern progressive trance house style synths they are. So now let's put it in context. Let's just add a bit of swing to that to match in with the rest of the track there. Where are we? Audio inserts, we don't want that. You've got to bear with me because I'm... where are we? It's not that. Chords, track inversions. Alright, we won't bother with that. MIDI inserts, right in front of my face, sorry. Excuse my stupidity there. So the quantizer... There we are. Right, so now if we go back into Hive, put a bit of compression on there just to bring the volume back up. So it's a very nice sounding synth. It's definitely one that I've been trying to get hold of for a while, and thank you to Richard again for providing me with the ability to be actually able to get on Hive and test it out properly. It is very much appreciated, and I'm sure some great music and presets are going to come out of this for everybody when I'm going to release some presets. I'll probably start with possibly, if you want, just let me know in the comments if you want to actually see these kind of synth swells and the organ. If you want to see them as free releases, just let me know and I'll throw them into another video. I'll just quickly go through how I've created them, maybe from scratch, just to give you something to see, and just put them down on Facebook for you to download. Just let me know. So that's Hive in a nutshell. They're kind of my findings at the moment. I'm pretty sure it's capable of a hell of a lot more. But just straight off the mark, I'll probably delve into using some of the kind of modulation features here and see what we can do. It's probably all standard stuff, like any other sort of synthesizer. Let's just see how it operates really. I'll probably go through the ARP and sequence once I've sussed it out properly. The arpeggiator's pretty much self-explanatory. The sequencer seems a little bit more complex for me just because I'm not going from a user manual. I suppose I should just like kind of do my research really. So thank you for watching. If you really enjoyed the video, just give us a like, subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and follow me over on Instagram and Facebook because that's where I'm kind of most at. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.